नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. Of the transient there is no endurance, and of the eternal there is no cessation. This has verily been observed and concluded by the seers of the truth after studying the nature of both. All the Ved mantras in our Upanishad state that these three entities, God, the individual soul, and Maya, are all eternal. God is everlasting. Thus, He is Sat, eternally existing. Hence, a name for Him in the Vedas is Sat Chit Anand. The soul is imperishable, and hence it is Sat. However, the body will cease to exist one day, and hence it is Asat, temporary. The soul is also Sat Chit Anand, but it is also Anu, tiny. Hence, the soul is Anu Sat, Anu Chit, and Anu Anand. The entity Maya from which the world has been made is eternal or Sat. However, all material objects we see around us came into existence and will be destroyed with time. Thus, they can all be termed as Asat or temporary. So, while the world itself is Asat, it is only the entity Maya that is Sat. When we say that the world is Asat, this should not be confused with Mithya. Asat does not mean Mithya. Some philosophers claim that the world is Mithya or non-existent. They assert that it is only the ignorance within us that is making us perceive the world, and once we are situated in Brahma Gyan, the world will cease to exist. However, if this were true, then the world should no longer have remained for the God-realized saints. Since they had destroyed their ignorance, the world should have stopped existing for them. Why then did these saints write books even after attaining the state of God realization? Where did the paper and pen come from? The fact that Brahmagyanis use the objects of the world proves that the world exists even for them. Besides, even Brahmagyanis need food to nourish their bodies. The Vedic scriptures state, even God-realized saints feels hungry, just as animals do and need to eat food. If the world does not exist for them, then how and why should they eat? With this verse, Krishna moves Arjun from emotional wisdom to ontological truth, the nature of reality itself. He draws a clear distinction between the real and the unreal. Asat, the unreal, that which changes, decays, and eventually disappears. The body, circumstances, roles, victories, losses. These appear real for a time, but they do not possess lasting existence. Sat, the real, that which never changes, the Atma, the self, pure consciousness. It exists before birth, during life, and after death. Krishna is saying, what truly exists cannot be destroyed, and what is destroyed was never truly real. The wise have seen this truth directly, not as belief, but as lived realization. This verse quietly dissolves fear at its root. Why do we fear loss, death, failure? Because we mistake the temporary for the eternal. Krishna invites us to shift identity from body to self, from appearance to essence, from change to changelessness. When this distinction becomes clear, grief loses its foundation. Why this matters to Arjun? Arjun is terrified of destroying lives. Krishna shows him no soul is destroyed, only forms change. This doesn't make action careless, it makes it clarified. Action performed with this knowledge becomes free from attachment and guilt.